Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading, and a serious reading today. And because it's a serious reading and a very serious reading, we have a dark tarot on the tarot table, Tarot of the Abyss. And the serious topic is to do with, and I have to pick my words carefully because of the machine that scans everything we upload on YouTube now, a certain organization that is hostile to the West has come out in their magazine and ordered a hit on Prince Harry. It's been released in Spanish language newspapers for some reason, not English ones, but it's going around in social media, the normal places when one finds news about the Harkles. There it is, that they have ordered this hit on him, a bit like they did on Salman Rushdie all those years ago, and we all know what happened quite recently to Salman Rushdie. And they have said, and this is as a consequence of the 25 chess pieces that Harry claimed he knocked off the board. I am choosing my words very carefully. If this is offensive to anyone who's watching this, I do apologize. It's just because of, as I say, the machine. But they have said that this hit is an opportunity for the British Crown to take revenge on its dissident son, basically by standing back, stepping aside, not giving money for security, and therefore giving them an opportunity, or one of them an opportunity, for an attempt, shall we say, again choosing words very carefully because this is a very serious and a very sensitive topic. I have read on this before. The reading will be in the Royals playlist. I read on it quite recently when Harry's book came out, what was leaked, again in a Spanish bookshop. Interestingly, the Spanish connection. I read on this, and for Harry, I got the Devil, and I said at the time that that was a very disturbing card. So, as I said, I've got the Tarot of the Abyss on the tarot table. I'm going to shuffle a little bit more, and as I shuffle, I'm going to remind you that this is just a tarot reading for entertainment purposes. It is all just speculation, or just my opinion. We read on these things, these royal stories, because they're archetypal and we can learn from archetypes. And there is, of course, a disclaimer in the box below. Please read it. Please form your own opinions on this subject matter. And as I say, it is very serious. And this is, as the card, the deck basically just breaks up on the tarot table. Yeah, just tarot, just energy. I'm not wishing any harm on him at all. Not at all. And I wish that this was just a joke. But it doesn't seem to be just a joke. So I'm going to do a 7-card reading. I'm going to just shuffle a little bit more. I'm going to look at the situation and how serious is it from that particular organization. How worried is Harry? How worried is Meghan? How worried are the British royal family about this? Will this affect Harry's attendance at the coronation? We know you're a security risk. You can't attend. One more shuffle. Then a sensitive question. A lot of army people are coming out of the woodwork and saying on sites, military sites. No, I haven't cut the deck. That he didn't actually see any live action when he was in Afghanistan. It's all just BS. So I'm going to ask that very directly. I'm going to ask if he actually did see live action, if he did, in fact, achieve those numbers that he claimed he achieved, or is it just all, as I say, BS? Sorry, I got very distracted, so we're having to redo this preliminary stuff. It's worrying me. The energy is very disturbing. I just have to say that. And so we're going to find out, and then, of course, the outcome. So a bit of a chaotic preamble there. Whew. Very, very, very bad energy. I just have to say that. Very bad energy. I will explain the cards as I go through them. You know, we do this mostly for fun, but some days it's not fun. Those of you who have been on this journey for a long time know it's not fun. We got the moon as the underlying energy, and that is symbolizes the countries that these people come from, basically. Very much the moon, the symbol of the moon, very much involved in those countries, in the religious practices of those countries, the symbolism and stuff like that. So there is the moon, and the moon is about fear and confusion and doubt and threats and shadows and not being able to see clearly in the shadows. It's a very, very, very telling card. The moon also is the Diana card, the hunter card, the goddess of the hunt. And someone is here literally, according to this article that's doing the rounds, someone is actually basically being hunted. I really don't like that energy as the underlying energy. I'm getting extremely anxious. I personally don't suffer from anxiety disorders at all. I cannot tell you how shaky and anxious I am right now. How serious is this? We're getting into the main reading now. That card sits. It sits and it tells me what's going on with the rest of the cards, and I hope you can see it properly. How serious is this? Again, distracted, very distracted in this reading. How serious is it? Six of Pentacles, that's the evening, the settling scores. The Six of Pentacles, you took from me, I will take from you. It's not a major arcana, and it's not a terrifying card. It's not one of the worst cards that I could have imagined here, but it is settling the scores. Six of Pentacles, even things out, giving and taking, reciprocity. You owe me, I owe you. It's that kind of energy. So yeah, it is serious in the sense that they feel that something is owed them. An eye for an eye. It's that kind of energy with that Six of Pentacles. So it's not an idle threat, not at all. How seriously is Harry taking this? How worried is he? According to the cards, according to the energy of the cards, yeah, Ace of Wands in reverse. This is not good news. This is the consequence of being silly and thinking that you could go and write a book like Spare and go around and go on a worldwide privacy tour, go on a worldwide publicity binge, for money and for status and for fame, and to spread your story and spread your news out there with the Ace of Wands. But it's come back to bite him in the you know what, because the card is in the reverse. This is wanting to put a fire out. This is wanting to basically run away and hide instead of strutting the stage and saying, look at me, and aren't I magnificent, follow me. It's serious. It is serious, and it's unintended consequences. I often get those words, unintended consequences, with Harry, that he doesn't think things through. He doesn't realize that we're in a real world here where other people have actual feelings and where there are many sides to a story, not just his. He didn't get it. And so that Ace of Wands that he was holding out, that fire, that story, that narrative has now come back to bite him. How worried is Meghan? How worried is Meghan? She's trying to stay calm with the Temperance card. It's trying to stay balanced. It's trying to stay even-tempered and not overreact. Be moderate in your responses. So she's not terrified. It's on him. It's not on her. Yeah, so she's not the one who's being threatened. I think that possibly up until now she's been quite concerned because it was more of a vague threat, but now it's very much everyone else back off, give us opportunity, give us space, clear out the way so that we get a clear sight line there. So I think she's well, I'm okay, Jack, with that Temperance card. It's fine. It's not me. I'm not involved. Children aren't involved. It's his problem. That is what's coming to me as an energy reader. That is my opinion. That is my speculation. That is literally how I am reading those cards. She might be absolutely terrified and anxious for him. But this is the card that has come to me in this tarot reading, and that's the way I'm interpreting it personally. So how concerned are the British royal family by this news? It's very curious that it hasn't been repeated in British newspapers. Two of Swords, and that's a you. Somebody without a face, and then almost like heads being held up. I don't like that card. I'm going to put it down. A crossroads, decisions that have to be made, very serious decisions that have to be made with the Two of Swords that you don't want to have to make, and you don't really know how to act, how to react to them. And I think this is probably they've what's the word where you map out things and you play war games and you do strategic things and you go through all the permutations of something, and well, this could happen and then that could happen and blah blah, it's that war games kind of thing. I don't think anyone in their worst nightmares thought that this would happen, that this problem would pop up. I think they thought all kinds of other problems would pop up which haven't really, but this one has. And because they didn't know what it was in the book, Harry wouldn't give them an advance copy. They weren't able to prepare for this, and they weren't able to warn him that it was perhaps not a good idea to write those few lines in the book that he did, and that have now prompted this response. So they are concerned, very concerned, but undecided about what to do right now. How's it going to affect his presence at the coronation? Is it going to be, please stay away, you're a security risk now, we don't want you there? The Emperor in reverse, it is going to, in a very serious way, it's going to have repercussions, because the Emperor is, of course, King Charles. That is him being crowned with the Emperor. And it's in reverse. It is plans unraveling. It's become an organizational nightmare. The Emperor is about organizing, getting your ducks in a row, lining your army up, sending out orders to people, do this, do that. But it's in reverse. Everything has been thrown into chaos by this. Absolutely into chaos. I think that there is probably quite a serious panic on behind the scenes with this. Now what are we going to do? We don't know what they're going to do. I haven't asked that question. My next question is the very sensitive one of how real is this count that Harry wrote about in his book? Is it true? Or was he hidden well away playing computer games for all the time that he was in Afghanistan? How, I suspect that a lot of this is imaginary. I really do, with that Page of Cups. Cups, Neptune, water, imagination, playing, dreaming, make-believe. It's a child. It's a very juvenile energy. It is, see how there's a storm in the background, the waves crashing, but this little person is hiding, basically sheltered, protected, and not engaged in fighting that tempest that's going on behind him. I think a lot of it was made up to pretend, to make himself look like a big war hero. I think that, and this is my personal opinion, my speculation, I think that those guys who are coming out that say it's all BS, he was protected all the time, he never saw any live action, I think that there is something to that. What's going to be the outcome of this big problem that Harry has now caused himself? What is going to be the outcome? We're going to get an awakening. Very interesting card. A revelation. It's judgment. The awakening card. In normal tarot. It's been called to account for what you have done. He is going to be held to account for this at some level. It's not one of the dreadful cards that would make me anxious and make me probably not upload this reading. Does happen sometimes when I think, okay, we don't want that energy out there, we'll just quietly bury it. the awakening is answering. It's the trumpet that sounds, and the dead rise from their graves to be judged. It's the second coming, but it is being judged. It is, as I keep saying, being held to account. In some massive way, he is going to be held to account. Let's clarify with the Tarot of the Abyss, and let's see in what way is he going to be held to account. Is he going to have to come out and apologize and say, well, actually, I didn't do it, I was just lying? Or is he going to be held to account in a more physical and serious way? I've got two cards that have come out here. And we got the Nine of Cups in reverse. The Nine of Cups in reverse, and the Sun, and the dog's having a good old shout. The Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment, but it's also it's cups again. It's make believe. It's imagination. It's what one might dream and wish for, but in reverse you don't get. And then the Sun comes out and gives clarity. I suspect that he's going to have to come out and actually reframe the story somewhat with those cards. I'm not getting danger here. I'm not getting actual physical danger, mercifully, with those two cards, but I am getting clarity. I am getting a spotlight. I am getting illumination with the Sun. I am getting some sort of we've got the Moon up here as the underlying energy of the secrets and the mystery and the fear and all the rest of it, but then the Sun comes out and burns that fog away that's in the Moon, and shows that this was all just wishful thinking. And he's going to have to come out and say it. This is very much my interpretation. It's very much my reading of the energy. It's very much what has come through to me as a tarot reader. I cannot stress that enough. Personally, I hope for Harry's sake that this is the outcome of this reading, and that he has a moment of clarity. He does wake up and realize how stupid he has been and how insensitive he has been, and come out and clarify it and make some sort of statement about it, some sort of apology. The Page of Cups is an apology, so we have apology energy in here. I'm not just making it up. Page of Cups, one of the meanings of that card is to say sorry for something in a heartfelt way. But the royals are very concerned. I'll put those cards over there. The royals are concerned. This underlying energy is very concerning. Meghan is the one who doesn't care. Very interesting. You see how that energy is compared with that card, which doesn't have any shadow on it, any darkness. She doesn't care. Harry is regretful, very. The royals are, what on earth do we do? Now how are we going to arrange the coronation? They're thrown into chaos by this. There is a desire to settle scores here. And he is going to have to answer for what he's done in a big way. But it looks to me that he is going to just have to come out and clarify, possibly, and say, well, perhaps that was on a simulator or sort of something like that in a game when he thought it was real, but it wasn't. Oops. Something like that. An odd energy around this reading. Very odd. This for me is a very telling image here of this little person hiding from the stormy seas behind. Very telling. So that is your very odd reading. Whew. It's left me feeling quite, what's the word, wrung out. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'm going to get on with the next one.